Jayson Tatum has put out, I don't know if he was asked like post game or as a quote, whatever, basically asking if he feels like he's underappreciated. He said, if you took the name and the face away from all my accomplishments, and you're just like, this is what this player A accomplished at 26, people would talk about me a lot differently. Honestly, because there's just been a lot of like debate over the last few weeks, I feel like, of, faces of the league and who could be the face of the NBA, like a non-international player, whatever. And, I'm seeing a lot of dialogue on Twitter, all these media people just kind of going around Jayson Tatum, where it's like, am I here to say that he should be the face of the league? That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, like, it is baffling and confusing to see someone like Tatum, so accomplished, that gets the kind of, the slack or, the internet trolls are saying all this and that about him when he really doesn't have, like, I know I'm a Celtics fan, so like I might get biased, but like you look at him and it's like, what other guy like do you want as a role model? Like, genuinely speaking, like at 26, well accomplished, NBA champion, multiple time Olympian, father of, 2 kids, great influence on his son. So you want to talk about things. Well,
He's
no, well,
about
you want
Tatum the man.
well, because you want to talk about an influence, you want a guy representing your league that doesn't have any like LeBron was the perfect guy. Like, he would never had any scandals off the court or anything. The only thing people had against him was that he joined a super team or formed a super team and flopped for a few years pretty ridiculously. Besides that, it was just the game. That's how the game was flowing. He tagged along.
Right. 280-pound dudes don't get a lot of calls around the basket. I don't
listen, he had to do what he had to do. But like the point being is, like, you have someone, right, that could easily be the face of the league, but they're not talking about him as one. And I feel like when people talk about Tatum, like media coverage or whatever, I'm not saying it's more negative than positive, but it definitely is a mix of negativity in there as well. For a guy that is leading the Celtics in basically every major statistical category, points, rebounds, assists, 3-point percentage, doesn't miss time, doesn't sit games by any means. They're obviously behind Cleveland in the East, but
that's still the
defending champs, and they're still the best team in the league, if I could say so myself. So it is just like, I do feel bad for Tatum, where it's the sense of like he does nothing wrong, but yet he still gets shit on from people for no reason. It's like, Twitter is Twitter. It's like, that's not the real world. That's just people on there that say and do things, and they feel like there's no repercussions for them or whatever. But it is baffling when you don't see media members as well on TV kind of defending him and kind of putting him in a light that he should be in. But that's really my 2 cents. Again, I'm not saying he should be the face of the league. I'm not even saying he's the best player in the league by any means. But I'm just saying I don't understand why he wouldn't be in these conversations when you're talking about face of the league.
I think the NBA is in a unique situation that it probably hasn't been in a little while. I think each decade, each era has a particular face. Where the 80s, it was Magic Bird. 90s, we think of MJ. 2000s, Kobe, and then LeBron. 2010s, LeBron, so on and so forth. But there's multiple faces that we could sell as the guys for this generation, where if you don't want to include foreign players, whatever, but I am, where it'll be.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do too. It's just like the television, like, arguments and stuff. They're talking about like not like no foreign players, like just strictly like, who's the American face of the NBA. I should have said that earlier.
Yeah, and I get that, but Victor Wembanyama, Anthony Edwards, even John Morant, whenever he's on his shit and healthy, like there's a couple guys that we could throw in with them, but
I think Zion Williamson could have been a big name that would have been thrown in there. Yeah.
But I wrote something about this yesterday, and like I had to pull this back up real quick to just read it to you, because my theory is that people love to hate success. And that's it's been proven, right? We mentioned LeBron. Even though LeBron was the face of the league for a certain extended period of time, there was a lot of people that still hated his ass. And obviously the Miami move, but hate is hate. The Golden State Warriors, like, I think we loved them in 2015 to some degree. But, like, once Kevin Durant got there, there was a whole song committed to saying, fuck Steph Curry, over and over again. Like, take it to other sports, too. People still hate the Chiefs despite them losing in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like,
Tom Brady.
People hate Tom Brady.
Yeah.
People don't love Sidney Crosby on the ice. Like,
Derek Jeter, guys like that. There's many examples.
Successful champions of their respective sport, and they don't get all the love that they probably should get. In Jayson Tatum's case, you're the best player on the best team in the league, to where there needs to be something to hate about these guys, because everybody outside of Boston does not want to see the Celtics hold the Larry O'Brien over the head for a second straight year. And guess what? Mm-hmm. Y'all have the best shot to do that. Over every other team, all other 29 teams in this league, the Celtics have the best odds to repeat as NBA champions. Mm-hmm. That's a lot to hate. For media, for fans, or if you're just some kid jerking off behind your fucking computer screen while you're hitting somebody up on X. I don't give a shit. Like, it's really just, that's my theory that, this dude's successful. And like you said, he's a great guy off the court. And that makes him even more hateable. It's like, look at Jayson Tatum over here with an R&B singer.
With his son, bringing his son to the All-Star game. How dare he? What an asshole. What a piece of shit.
That's just the way that our society that we're in today is.
Yeah, so yeah.
I accept it. But Tatum is definitely, he's box office. Like, he might not look like it, but I've seen some other random stat. There's 8 players to hit at least 175 threes. Guess who's one of them? Jayson Tatum. He's Jayson Tatum. The Celtics also have 2 other guys that also did that. So kind of crazy. But still, Jayson Tatum is the face of the best organization in the league today. That's why people hate him. And that is what it is.
And I think, honestly, at this point, like, hate is a compliment. It's the best form of flattery. You know what I mean?
Well.
Because that means you're doing great. Because LeBron James is the most hated person in the world back in, like, 2012, 2013. You know what I mean? But
people still hate him now because we say
they still hate him now. I think like halfway through his Cleveland, I think maybe when he won the championship is when the tides really started to turn, as far as like people like giving him his flowers and be like, okay, he's not. That's like Kevin Durant. Like we said earlier, if he goes back to OKC and wins, I think that's the turning point. Changes the narrative completely. But yeah, just kind of 2 cents on what we think of Jayson Tatum, and like again. I think we're in an era where there's multiple faces of the league. You can't single out, like, make it one person. I think Wembanyama, like, if we're accounting foreign and non-foreign players, like, of course, is probably going to be the guy that they push and is going to be the moneymaker. But realistically, there's like 5 or 6 guys that you could label as face of the league, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So
I think it's also Tatum's personality that people don't.
He's quiet. Yeah, he's quiet. Yeah, he real G's move in silence like lasagna, a great man once said. Lil Wayne, to be in fact. But okay.
I hope people know that. I really do.
The block is hot. All right. Let's